All right, so I'm just doing an audio check here, just seeing if my audio levels are coming through. Apparently they are. I'm hearing myself on the app, so I guess it's all coming through okay. So I guess we'll call this the pregame show. So yeah. Um, so I just posted the video a few minutes ago of the season preview. So I guess we're gonna go over the Sixers players, what they look like, obviously of the computer or video game rendered editions. So you see Moses Malone there, Dr. J. Julius Irving. Sixers will be in their home white uniforms today. There's Andrew Toney, Mr. Three-Point Guy. There's the sixth man, Bobby Jones, Mo Cheeks, Mark Iavaroni. There's Sadale Threet. I mentioned earlier he had several stints in the NBA. Most notably, he was on I believe he was on the Seattle SuperSonics, and then most notably with the Bulls. There you see Clint Richardson, a stalwart bench player. Of all the retro footage that I've been seeing from Sixers basketball from 1983, he was very good off the bench. There's Franklin Edwards, another stalwart off the bench. Sam Williams. These are young players. There's Mark McNamara. I mentioned in the pregame or the season preview that he won't be a Sixer much longer in the timeline of history. He winds up joining the San Antonio Spurs. So that will most likely he will not most he's not too long for this team. He'll be moving on. I don't know who they're going to replace him with. I have to check that on the interwebs to find out who they're replacing Mark with. But there's Clem Johnson, who is the backup center for Moses Malone. Leo Routens. Don't know much about him. I do know that's him. He's on the team. Wes Matthews and Charles Jones, some of the young players, and there's Moses. So, yeah, we're going to be getting started in just a little bit. I just wanted to essentially toss this video out there, live feed, if you will, because I wanted to test the video on this old headset I'm using. It's a PS4 headset with a PS5 um, controller. So, as I mentioned, we will be doing a double shot of games today. This would have been played yesterday, but I'm going to be doing it in just a little bit. Probably right like around 2 o'clock, top of the hour. I will go ahead and play the first game here. Um, but this whole game mode is really interesting because there's several different eras. I decided to go way back to the point where the Sixers were actually really good, and they were the defending world champions at this point in the timeline of history. Earlier in 1983, they had won the NBA World Championship, uh, beating the Lakers. Uh, Talk about an underdog story. The Sixers won the championship, and they would be defending this year. As you see, some of the games down the bottom, the Washington Bullets and the Sixers coming up. And they're really in depth too. They talk about points from last season. It really is the home opener here, the Richfield Coliseum. They do have. They do have. I mentioned earlier in the season preview that they left some of the arenas out. They do not mention. You see Nets Arena down the bottom there. They don't say the Brendan Byrne Arena. Uh, it's going to be interesting to see if they mention Indianapolis, they use the Market Square Arena. There's the Palace of Auburn Hills. That is not where they played. They played, actually, I believe they played at the Silverdome, the Pistons. So, a couple good matchups there. Nuggets Arena, yeah, they're not using that. They're not using their arena. I forget the name of the arena in Denver back in the day. But clearly it was not called the Denver Arena. Sonics Arena. I believe the Key Arena is where the Sonics played back in the early to mid 80s. So, again, this is just sort of an audio thing that we're doing here. And I believe an ad just popped up on my live feed. Actually, no, it didn't either. I just clicked another video by mistake. So whoever's watching right now, thank you. Make yourself known. Say hello. But we're going to be, let's see here. Here's the lineup of games actually today. Pretty decent lineup. Obviously, the one up top is the one we're going to be focusing on. There's your starting lineups. You got Mo and Andrew in the backcourt, Julius and Mark Ivoroni, the forwards, Moses, obviously the starting center, and you see the visiting Bullets. You have Frank Johnson and Ricky Sobers in the backcourt, Greg Ballard, Rick Mahorn, the forwards, and the center, Jeff Ruland, who I mentioned earlier in the preseason video, that he would actually wind up becoming a Sixer, as luck would have it, as these guys would actually change uniforms in the upcoming season, which to this day nobody ever really understands why. That general manager Harold Katz, I believe, was the general manager at that time. I might be wrong. Whoever the general manager was at the time, regardless, did not make a sound decision as far as I'm concerned. You take a major piece like Moses Malone, who was such a big contributor in the Sixers winning the NBA championship in 1983, and trading him away was, I don't know. It seemed like to be an error on their part. So there you go. Let's see. Obviously, I have to change Joshua Augustin. I believe it was Harold Katz, but I'm not sure. I don't remember, to be honest with you. I have to go back and do a little bit more research as to who the GM was back in 83, 84. I'm pretty sure it was Katz, but I'm not 100% sure. So anyway, that's the story so far. I'm going to get off of here for now. Again, the Sixers and Bullets coming up. Show you the starting lineups again. There you go. You got Mo and Andrew in the backcourt once again. Julius and Mark up front, along with Moses. And for the visiting Washington Bullets, not the Wizards, you got Johnson and Sobers in the backcourt, Ballard and Mahorn up front, and then you have Jeff Ruland, the future Sixer, up front for the Washington Bullets. So that's that. We'll be back in just a short. I'm going to say top of the hour. We'll go ahead and jump on here with the live broadcast. I may or may not be calling it. I'm not exactly a basketball announcer, but we'll see. I'll probably just leave the in-game announcers on and just take it from there. So anyway, thanks for watching, whoever is on there right now. Appreciate it. And we'll be back at the top of the hour with the season opener of the retro Philadelphia 76ers 83-84 season. So with that, I will check you all in just a little bit.